Hello, hello, hello. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm late. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. No one's watching. Who cares? No one does. You don't care. Oh, the only person who cares is that guy, He cares. But nobody else cares. That guy cares. Oh, yeah, well, I'm here now. Don't ask why. YouTube was having one of its senior moments. Good old YouTube. Having a senior moment. Yeah, I'm not going to let you do the thing that you want to do because I'm YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. Blimey, O'Reilly. So yeah, now we're gonna go through that preamble where we have to wait for people to turn up. It's just boring. So I'm just gonna read my email whilst you take your time. Oh man, would they stop sending me that spam? Goodbye, spam. Boink. Pegasus in. How's my groove been? Shit. No, you don't care, Robert. You're just saying that, you're trying to get around me. But yeah, we're here now, just about. No thanks to YouTube, and I'm going to mess around with the thing because it's YouTube. I was a little bit late anyway. Kids things. Yeah? Kids come before YouTube, so I have to do parental stuff. So we do parental stuff. And then, like I say, then YouTube decides to have a mental breakdown on me. Oh boy. And Pinks is in. But we're all here now. Well, I'm here. Not everyone's here. Some of us are here. But yeah, tomorrow I've got 2 hours in the dentist chair. That's how we're starting tomorrow. 2 hours in the dentist chair, and it's going to cost me close to 800 quid. I'm really looking forward to it. And another tooth has cracked this very night. You know the one that had the chipped filling. Well, it's completely cracked now, and so that I can't afford to live anymore. But it was nice today. I had a blood test. That was fun. I've had more needles in me this year than my entire life. I think this year's been very busy when it's come to needles. But so that was good. So I await my results to see if the blood sugars are indeed down. But then maybe I will talk to them about my neuropathy. And maybe I'll get addicted to opioids. That would be cool, wouldn't it? That's probably the next phase of my life. I should just jump to the crack cocaine moment and get on with it, How's it going? It's still going. Ragnar says, Hello, Darren. I was just watching a review of the first VDG album. Great, he says. I don't. Who knows? Who knows when that was initially recorded? It was probably recorded many, many years ago. It's their tube. Well, I don't know. I don't even know if it's their tube. I think it's they set this stuff up and it just all goes. It's just you try and log in. It goes, no, you can't do that because this isn't your account. I go, it is my account. No, it isn't. And then I have to go deep into the settings to find, for some reason, it's got me set to one of the spare accounts, which I don't use. And of course, I can't live stream from that because it's just a spare account. And so I'm thinking, what? But I'm logged into one account, but when I go to live stream, it's logged me into, and you just think, oh, YouTube, eccentric old YouTube, you're so crazy. It's such a fun experience using you every time. Well, I've been grooving to, I can't remember, mainly Genesis, I think. Genesis, played a bit of Bundles, forced Verity to listen to the whole of the Land with me the other night. That was a condition of her staying up late at the weekend. Well, you've got to listen to the whole of the Land. That's it. Them's the rules. I don't make the rules. Oh, wait a minute, I do make the rules. Yeah, stuff and things, um, and that. Not a lot really. Yeah, there's a lot. I don't know. I can't remember. It's not important. None of it's important. It's all landfill. It's all landfill. All of it. And that rather mediocre public service broadcasting album. It's alright if you like synthesizers, I suppose. Pink says major news outlet. Then it gave us a bad review just this last hour. Have I seen any footage of it? I've watched the whole thing. I was going to do a review because look, you see, I've got my official tour T-shirt on because seeing as I look, I don't know if you look, cool T-shirt. Go on, say it. I dare you. I fucking dare you. Great T-shirt. Oh, nice T-shirt. But look, I've got a T-shirt. So that proves that I've been there. I haven't, but I watched it because they did. The internet's a wonderful thing. It means that you can live vicariously through other people, like you live through my miserable, insignificant life. And you watch this and you go, "Thank God I'm not him. Look at him. He's just rotting away in front of us. Look, if we're lucky, his teeth might fall out whilst he's doing his live stream." But yes, someone did a thing. They did a thing. I'm always impressed by my level of articulacy. It's just like, yeah, he did a thing. He did a thing with the what's it. They did a multicam video of one of the Birmingham. I think it was the first night of Birmingham, and I watched that the whole way through. It was the only way I was going to watch it. I wasn't going to pay to see it. If I get a free ticket, I might go along, but I don't think they're going to send me a free ticket. So, what do I think of it? I couldn't pay excess of £100 to watch that because he's sitting down the entire time, and he doesn't do a particularly good job of it. Some of it's okay, but some of it isn't. It's funny because some of it's all right, it's passable, but there's a lot of goodwill involved. There's a lot of goodwill involved, and it's been getting good reviews. I mean, the reviewers in the UK press have been I think they've been very generous with the thing. I mean, musically it's fine. It's just Genesis do a good show, and that musically it's great, and I think the band's great. It's just Phil Collins ain't, and I'm not particularly pleased to have to say that, but he ain't. It's not very nice. And if you want to spend hundreds of pounds watching. They might as well just got an old man off at the end of out a pub to sing, Might as well just done that. But yeah, it's it's not good. It's not good. Varna says, "Even Darren, enjoyed your PSP review. Those guys have listened to a lot of Depeche Mode, Pet Shop Boys, OMD, and I forgot those other ones. I forgot OMD. Yeah, they're another, aren't they? And all again, you should have stayed home today. But you dropped a bomb, and now it's all gone wrong." I think that's how it goes. In my head, that's how the lyrics go. How's it going? Oh, it's going terrible for Sana. It's just going terrible. Payne says, we changed some settings message when I logged in earlier. Yeah, they do what they want. It's crazy. Pink says, "I've been making a playlist of whole albums done live in the same order as the original P. Sorting the tracks like that, if that makes any sense. I think you've finally gone off the deep end, mate. I think you've finally gone mad, haven't you? You've submitted it to the madness." Pegasus says, "Listen to music when you get your teeth done tomorrow." Well, my dentist likes to listen to music, but he listens to it on his phone. And it's like, no. I didn't have his choice of music, it's inconsequential to me. I don't mind listening to other people's music, but it's the format, it's the apparatus used. Here comes the hot beverage. Here come the hot beverage. Oh, here come the hot beverage. Thank you. Done to the tune of "Here Comes the Hot Stepper." But he plays it on his phone. What is it with the younger generation playing music on their phone like this is perfectly normal and acceptable? It's not. Old man shouts at cloud. It's not acceptable. It's not. Totally unacceptable. El Quixote says, Do you dislike Labour because of left-wing ideologies or the approach the leaders take, or do you actually appreciate more conservative right-wing ideologies? No and no. And yes, and yes. I don't like any of them. I think they're all fucking useless. Labour Party are finished. They're finished. They've lost sight of what they're meant to represent. And that happened a long time ago. You know, you can trace back the current HGV crisis to Tony Blair. Let's do that. Tony Blair. What did Tony Blair do? He got rid of free university education. It's how I got my degree. I know. I went to Disney University and I got a Mickey Mouse degree. But it's still my degree. But he took away free university education. And then he said, I want everyone to go to university. And you go, on the surface, this looks like a very admirable thing to say. He wants to improve the education of the nation. Remember, education, education, education. Remember that. But he effectively privatised the universities by stealth. And then he created a whole new economy. Because, yeah, kids, you could all get a degree. And kids getting degrees in, I don't know, media studies, probably should have been getting their HGV licences instead. You see where I'm going with this? Because, again, it's a way of destabilising the labour market. Kids who should be bricklayers and plumbers and electricians and HGV drivers and whatnot, instead got a phony degree and ended up working in a call centre. And so we could get loads of cheap labour in from the EU. Whammo. Because Tony wanted to be president of the EU. We fucked that for him. Good one for us. See, it's the worst thing he ever did. And it's worse than Thatcher selling off the social housing. Because with one swell, one swoop, he manages to put like whole generations into debt whilst thinking that they're getting an education. They then turn something that was regarded as elite, a university education was for the best of the best, but now anyone can buy it. You can just rock up, buy your way in, and isn't that wonderful? And yeah, let's. And that's without the illegal wars and all those innocent people that got killed. Oops. But yeah, they're all shit. They're all shit. What do I think about the Conservatives? At least the Conservatives can tell you what a woman is. Labour Party can't do that because they're too busy tying themselves in knots to appease a very small minority who probably won't end up voting for them anyway. So yeah, they can all fuck off. Don't you realise it? Politics is just a waste of time. It achieves nothing because we've reached political stagnation for the last 30 years. Political stagnation because nobody's lives have got any better. Politics was meant to enrich and make people's lives bearable, but it hasn't done that. It comes to something when the Conservatives, with their handling of the pandemic, brought in socialist concepts with the furlough schemes and whatnot and throwing loads of money around. It's shocking. But at least the Tories seem to be trying to do something, seem to appear to be doing something. Whether or not they achieve it, that's something else. Whereas the Labour Party, what did they achieve? What did they achieve when they was in power? I'm not condoning the Tories because the Tories realised that we do live in a state of political malaise. And if they play it correctly, they can be in power forever and ever and ever and ever. Wonderful. All they've got to do is shut up and let the Labour Party and the Lib Dems hang themselves. It's wonderful, isn't it? Ba, 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 ba. For someone who says your PSP review got over 200 views. That's surprising. Maybe that's what the punters want. It's not enough though, is it? Still not enough. It's nowhere near to what I used to do. Pink submits he's finally off the clock. Josh is in. What does my shirt say? My shirt says nice shirt. Josh says, I thought it was a Genesis shirt from the front. It is a Genesis shirt from the front. Why would they put Genesis on the back? That would defeat the point of it being an advert for the band Genesis. Payne says, I thought it was the law that Dennis had Radio 2 on a 40-year-old transistor radio. Not anymore. Not anymore. Pegs has got his hot chocolate at hand. Jal says, it's the way we see the Genesis gig. If you're an old fan, it's difficult not to become sentimental about the thing. After all, it's the last time they're going to play together. Or are they? You never know. You never know what's going to happen. I think Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford are still hungry for it. You know, because again, they're putting on a good show. They didn't there's only one little flub from Mike, but yeah, I'll let him off. He was probably put off by the sight of Phil Collins sitting down all that time. But as a unit, I think they're incredibly tight, but they just need to ditch the singer. Remember, they've always got Ray Wilson. Simon Collins. I'm going to say it one more time. Simon Collins can do it. That'd be cool. But yeah, Phil Collins is just, appalling. It's appalling. Burb says, who's the Septuagint man on the chair? What's he waiting for? Oh, I don't know. But he waits every night. He's waiting for that Genesis show. That's man on the corner, isn't it? You've changed the words. Look, whilst I think it's admirable that they're doing this, there's a real disconnect with how much you pay and what you're seeing. You know, you're not seeing the Genesis experience. They needed Robo Phil Collins to stamp around the stage. I can't dance. No, he can't. He can't even walk. He can't even do the tambourine bit. He can barely hit the tambourine in time. Vaughan says about Genesis, I've watched some highlights. Tony Smith could be accused of exploiting an old disabled man. Well, he says he wants to do it, but watch the whole thing. There's a bit in it. I mean, they do a really good, acousticy bit with the lamb and that, and it works really well. And it got me. It emotionally got me. And I think, again, imagine if they'd have played a small theatre show and they'd scaled it back and they just did like a low-key thing and it was all just acoustic numbers or whatnot, you know. You'd have people just weeping in the aisles, you know. But I don't know. I don't see it as being a celebration of the legacy. I see it as being that thing when the corpse's leg twitches involuntary or lets off a giant fart. It happens. It happens when you're a corpse. It really does. Josh says, I've recently found I like the taste of nice soft sweet potato with some peanut butter. I'm really glad you shared that with us. Russell's in. Game Boy says, why do we like ABBA? Because they write really good songs. And that's it. We got to the end. Good night, folks. I'm off. So anyway, I figured out a way of paying off my dental fee. Last week's dental fee was like 130 quid. Santander were doing this software. You can move your account to them, and they give you 130 quid. And I thought that will cover the cost of my filling. So I thought I'll do that. I moved from the HSBC to Santander. This is a fascinating. Trust me, this is why people come here. They come here for the anecdotes. This is a corker. So I said to the missus, look, I want to move the account, you know, because we haven't got an the little HSBC branch locally. Let's go to Walthamstow. And we have got a Santander, so it made sense. So I did it all, put it all in, and waited. And I thought, this is taking a bit of a long time. Taking a bit of time. I got the reply today. Oh, we've approved your account. I thought, that's nice. However, I thought, okay, there's always an however. We go, Now, at the moment, with HSBC, it's a current account. We've got whatever. I think there's a checkbook and debit cards and whatnot. We have £100 overdraft. Ooh, £100 overdraft, which is useful because we often end up wandering into the overdraft. It's because we're poor and you people don't send me enough money. Send money now. That was some vicious e-begging I did. I don't think anybody would have noticed that. So I thought, well, with this new account, I want £100 overdraft. I want it to be exactly the same. However, says Santander, we cannot offer you the overdraft at this time. However, if your situation changes, it won't. We may reconsider. Do you want to continue? Yes or no? No. I would have been paying, because again, these current accounts, you have to pay like £4 a month now. Don't have to pay anything with HSBC. And I started been paying £4 and not having my overdraft. However, the delicious sweet irony, even though they wouldn't let me have £100 overdraft, I'm going to say that again, is Santander have our mortgage. And let me tell you, they lent us more than £100, more than that, for, I think we've got 19 years left to pay. And it's more than £100, I tell you that. So how can they, in one hand, lend us thousands of pounds for 19 years, but they won't let me have £100 for a month? Well, it's only actually for a few days at the end of the month, because we have bills coming in on the 1st and the missus gets paid on the 5th, and that's what it's there for, to capture, because I can't change those bills. Do you ever get those bills that you just can't change them? It cost me money to change the mortgage from the 4th to the 7th. I had to pay for that privilege. That don't seem right. But there you go. That was Santander. So yeah, our credit is so bad, I can't get £100 overdraft, which seems weird because when I go on to Experian, I've got 996 out of 1,000 on their rating chart. Yeah, it must be the missus. I think it's the missus holding me back. So there you go. That's my story. So unfortunately, didn't pay for my filling. There you go. And that's a shame. Pink says, Amber is musical royalty. You try and write all those hit songs. This is it. Game Boy likes the holograms though. Russell says, what are your thoughts on Freddie's Barcelona album? I think it's more consistent than Queen's Miracle album. It's all right. It's been a long time since I've heard it. Again, I like this. I like Barcelona, such a beautiful horizon. Barcelona, how could I forget? But yeah, there's that COD gospel one. It's all right, but it's not. It doesn't really speak to me. Is it Mike Moran? Gets a lot of co-writes on it. And I think he did a co-write on Innuendo with All God's People, which again I'm not a big fan of. Not a big fan of that one. So yeah, I mean it's all right. I wouldn't seek it out to listen to it. I know they rejiggered it a few years back and did proper strings on it instead of synth strings and that proper orchestral stuff. But he did the whole classical opera singer rock crossover before Eno and U2 did it with Pavarotti. He kind of led the way. He led the way. So that was it. That was interesting. Grant says, unlike other YouTube shows, your fans are not numbers or algorithms. They're intelligent. Are they? Most of them pay down for content. That's right. and this man is working his butt off every week. I'm not. That's all a lie. No, Grant. Stop lying. You know I'm a chancer. You know I'm just here chancing me arm. I've had a day because I've had school. Herb's been misbehaving again. You don't need to know. I don't want to talk about his private stuff, but we're getting had a few emails from the school about Herb's behaviour. I've had to talk to him in length about it, and that's tiring. Now Verity had an issue before bedtime, and that's a bit tiring. So it's hard to deal with all this and then come on and be wired, I'm not well. This is it. I keep telling everyone I'm not well, and I've had a lot of pain last few days. And luckily, my feet feel all right at the moment. And it's funny because it's usually the night time when it starts off. But I think again, I've got to be very careful with what I eat. I had a very nice plain dinner tonight with not a lot of bread, so I hadn't had a very bready day. But last night the family had pizza, and I probably shouldn't have had it. I shouldn't eat pizza. I think that makes me worse. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I keep taking the tablets. So keep taking the tablets. That's all we can do. So now I'm just a chancer. I'm your private chancer, your chancer for money, any old chancer will do. Come on, that's good. This is improvisational comedy at the finest. You won't get this anywhere else, You won't get this anywhere else. But yeah, for two hours tomorrow, mouth open. But then I'm going to show him this one, which is disintegrated tonight. And he's going to go, cha-ching! His eyes are pound signs, cha-ching! It's like, just, can you get a hammer and chisel and just knock those fuckers out? Just get rid of them all. I'll be like, hello, everybody. Welcome to YouTube. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. You're going to love that. Pink says, I like Freddie's first album with the cover of The Great Pretender. Oh, Mr. Bad Guy. Has it come back? OBS disconnected. You missed my gag about Steely Dan being named after a dildo. Whoop, whoop. I don't know what jokes you missed. The only reason they called it Mr. Bad Guy, because they couldn't call it Mr. Shit Guy. This has been a repeat. This has been a repeat. This has been a repeat for your entertainment pleasure. A repeat, just in case OBS cut off the joke. Game Boy says, do you like the new Dune? It's not out yet. Or is it June? Is it Dune or June? Is it a sand dune? Or is it a sand June? Dune or June? Or June or Dune? June or Dune? Dune or June? I don't care. I don't care. Because in this dojo, there's only one Dune. Or is it June? I don't know. And that's Tom Clacklin in. And David Lynch. There's only one. This new one's going to be very worthy, and it's going to be, and it stops halfway through, and nobody cares. I won't have Sting in it. Won't have Sting in it with that stick-on codpiece thing. And that was before he was doing the tantric sex. There you go. There you go. So yeah. I'm sure it'll be great, but I think isn't it something like 12 hours long or something? When it's on the telly, when it's on telly, and it's a Sunday afternoon, and it's a bit rainy, I might sit and watch it. But I ain't going to the cinema and seeing it because of the COVID, because like everyone's full of germs, you know that. And yeah, but Giles says, why YouTube allows some guy to put all of a Genesis gig on? If you put 5 seconds of music, you're cancelled. It's one of the eternal mysteries of YouTube. I get copyright claims on my own music because I have it protected, but you can't put yourself on a whitelist to stop your own channel being claimed. So I have to just go, yeah. It's just my other channel with all my music on. It's like, every video has got a copyright claim on it, even though, but I have to do that because people out there use my music. I don't know where they're using it, but someone's using it. Wish I could find out. Doesn't give you the tools to find out though. Russell says the Mister. Pegasus says, is it due to Herb's autism? Let me think. Is it the mild-mannered janitor? Could be. Hong Kong Phooey reference, which probably be cancelled now for cultural appropriation, even though he's a dog. There you go. He's a dog. He's a dog. Or is he the man? Is he the mild mannered janitor? But they don't recognise him. Once he puts that little mask on, they don't recognise that one, their janitor's a dog, and on Kung Fu he's a dog. But it's the whole Clark Kent thing all over again, but with a dog. Russell says, sorry, meant to say I like Mr. Bad Guy's title track. Bit like The Miracle. Pink says, what are your thoughts on Achtung Baby? People rave about that album. I don't see why. Joshua Tree was better. Why do they rap? Well, I think Achtung Baby's better. Look, you got. Problem with the problem with U2. Problem with you. There's lots of problems. Mainly Bono. Is they adopted this very American like kind of sound and look, very, in the Joshua Tree, there they are in the desert wearing cowboy hats, when really they should be, by the Liffey, with a big cask of Guinness on their shoulders. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they set themselves out as like these kind of Irish cowboys, and the world looked on incredulously, especially in the UK. It's like, what? Why are they cowboys now? What? They're cowboys? They're in Las Vegas wearing cowboy hats. What? Nobody got it. And then they went to I don't know, somewhere foreign in Europe, and they did a Achtung Baby, and it was like a very interesting thing, European sounding, and so they kind of reinvented themselves. And that was deemed cool. It was cool. Very cool. Very cool. Got a little spot come up. Oh. Got a spot come up right there. I'm 50 years old. Very goes, oh, my spots. I said, I'm 50. Get a load of it. This ain't going away anywhere soon. Not if you take after me. Oh, now I've got a red mark there. I don't think I've got anything I can. I've got anything in here in the drawer that I can use to cover it. I have the ideal cover. No one's gonna. There you go. That should. If I just hold that there, no one will ever see the spot again, will they? No one. This isn't embarrassing. I'm comfortable with it. No one's going to laugh at this, even though I've done this joke many times before. This is a variation on a joke I've been doing for about the last 7 years, but this is cool. This is cool. No one's going to look at the spot now. I've taken everyone's mind off of the spot. It's not sticking. It's magnetic. You see? And that shows you that the vaccines don't make you... Look, don't make you... Oh, don't even stick to that. So what's that made of? Maybe it's not magnetic. I thought this was a fridge magnet. Hold it. Yeah. It's stuck. Trust me. Listen. I can't bend the camera around. Can't see that. It sticks to guitar strings. You see? Oh, it fell off. But didn't stick to my head, so that means that the vaccine doesn't make you magnetic. We've disproved that theory. Hey, you get science, bitch. Hammer and chisel, that's right. Pink says, you remind me of Max Headroom with the repeat thing. I won't do Max Headroom. I saw Shock the Monkey on Max Headroom the first time by Peter Gabriel. It blew my tiny teenage mind. He had to be there. Pink says, today would have been the birthday of the inventor of the Chapman stick. I think his name's, he says it's Eddie Chapman. I think it's, isn't his name Chapwood, Chappy Chapman? I think that's his real name. He's dead though. That's good, because it's a terrible instrument. The thing is, right, is you get a Chapman stick. I owned a Chapman stick once. Have I told you, mate? Can I tell you my Chapman stick? I bought a Chapman stick from Greece, which means it was very slippery. It was. It was. The Chapman stick is a shit instrument. Shit instrument. There was one. I actually tried one in a guitar shop in London, and I can't. It's still going. I don't. It's not. It's not hobgoblin music. Maybe it was them. But I saw an advert and it said Chapman stick. So I turned up and I said, "Oh, let me see Chapman stick." And he went, "Yeah, there it is." And it was like, I don't know, 200 quid. So I thought, well, if this is a Chapman stick, I'm buying it immediately. This is about 2,000 because I can flip this for lots of money. It wasn't a Chapman stick. Someone had made a Chapman stick, and I don't know how to. And the strings were kind of, oh God, it was like wire, bits of wire holding them onto. And I'm like, and he went, yeah, and he kind of gave it to me. I'm like, and there wasn't barely any signal coming out of it. And I'm like, I'm good. That was the year 2000. And then a few years later, like I said, there was this one on eBay in Greece. So I bought it, and yeah, I played it. And you tuck it into your trousers. You have to tuck it into your belt, and my trousers kept falling down. I'm like starting up there, and I find myself going, oh, this will not do. This doesn't happen to Tony Levin. His trousers do not fall down. Imagine if he's playing with, I don't know, Peter Gabriel, and they're doing Sledgehammer, and next thing you know, Tony Levin's trousers around his knees. I think they'd probably have that in the show every night because it would be funny. But it just doesn't. It doesn't happen to him. So I thought I must be playing it wrong, and I'm adjusting my belt. I'm doing my belt up every time. My trousers sliding down. And do you know what the problem with the Chapman stick is? When you play Chapman stick, you sound like Tony Levin. No matter what you do, you sound like Tony Levin. I figured out that an awful lot of Tony Levin riffs are really easy to play on the stick. And then Kelvin MacKenzie ran a publishing house into the ground, and they went bust, owing me quite a bit of money, which I had to pay the tax man, and so I had to sell the Chapman stick almost a fortnight later because the tax man needs his money. Kelvin MacKenzie certainly wasn't giving it to me, even though I put in a claim. And then I got a letter back a few years later saying, well, there's an awful lot of creditors in front of you, Mr. Locke, so we don't think your claim's going to be successful. And that was it. And that was my experience with the Chapman stick. I think I might have taken some pictures of it. I might have some pictures somewhere, but I never recorded with using it because I sounded like Tony Levin. But I flipped the stick. I flipped it for lots of money, and I think I made about 400 quid on it. So I'm happy. I'm happy with that. It turned out all right. Tom said, I found Phil Collins so sad and unbearable to watch. Yeah. Just think, somebody's paid to undress him and put him to bed every night. You know that. Grant says, Tangerine Dream, first three were great, then Noy came along and I stopped listening. Exactly, Noy's where it's at. Grant knows what he's talking about. Russell says, On Kung Fu was brilliant. I loved that show. Pink says, mainly Bono. Can't say I disagree. Well, it is. It's mainly Bono. King says, you two suck. Come on. They did Discotheque. Great song. Yeah? Ooh, Discotheque. And the video when they're dressed as the village people. That's brilliant, that is. Love that one. And of course, Miss Sarajevo with the aforementioned Pavarotti and Mr. Brian Eno, or Father Brian Eno, if you watch Father Ted, playing the omnichord. That's great. I love that bit. It's my best bit. Pegasus says, yeah, autism can be so difficult to deal with. It becomes overwhelming. I find music helps a lot. Yeah, I ain't going to help Herb. Pink says, they don't suck, but aren't they good either? What? Tom says, come on, Darren. Super glue it to your head. It suits you. I'm not going to super glue it to my head. Pink says, Mythbusters in my Daryl Locke stream. Exactly. I do anything. You know me. I cover all zones. You know me. I'm going to... Now, I'm going to run it past you. Shall I do a review of the Genesis live thing as if I was there? I was going to pretend because I got the T-shirt and everything. Because I got the T-shirt, look, Last Domino T-shirt, official. Didn't buy it off of a dodgy man outside the stadium. I got this official from the Genesis Emporium. That was expensive. Won't do that again. And I was thinking I'd do a review like I was there, even though I was sitting at home watching it on YouTube. What do you reckon? That could be fun. So many thumbs downs I can get. Pink says, if only somebody played with my Chapman stick, it's gathering dust. Pink's is euphemism for his, old man. Pink says, I went to see Bill Collins live down here in 2018. March 2018. I swear he was better back then, and that's saying something. He was. If you watch his tour, he was sitting up a bit, and and he seems to be getting worse. I've got a theory. It's game theory, but it's a theory, right? He's either on the sauce again, or there's something else at play. He's more ill than he's letting on. You know what I'm saying? Because of his degradation in the last few years. He also is type 2 diabetic. So I've got that in common with Mr. Collins. So that means I'll be here soon with the microphone going, hello people, how are you tonight? Oh, I've dropped my I Love Sperm badge. Oh no, what am I going to do? I can't reach it. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. It's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. Here you go. Grant says, best U2 song for me is Bad for Unforgettable Fire. I'm bad. Well, I'm really bad. Russell says, the Edge seems to change guitar every 2 minutes. The roadies have their work cut out. Because he puts them out of tune. He's got very sweaty hands, you see. Very sweaty. That's why he wears the hat. Because he's often doing that. Because he's got very sweaty hands. And the strings rust as he's playing. So he has to get a fresh guitar. And he's like that. Constantly sweating. Yeah. Sweaty. Pink says, do it for the laughs, I will. King says, I think he's more ill than he's letting on. So do I. Seeing his performance and seeing him in interviews as well, he doesn't seem compos mentis, and that's a real shame. I think they should just let him, sit looking out to sea with the tartan blanket over his legs. That'd be it. It's all a bit unfortunate, isn't it? Very, very unfortunate. Anyone? How many got in today? 35. God, we're still dropping people, aren't we? Roger's in, and he's back. Roger's he's announced that he is back. I don't know where he's been, but he's back. Good for him. Good for him. Anyone? Any more questions? Please? Pink says, I watched a show from 2015 in Paris at one point. Good old Bono drinks water and spits it onto the audience. Well, that was before COVID. See, this is how COVID spread, you see. I think a rock star did that. I think actually it was a rock star. I think it was Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne, he bit a bat, and so it took years for him to develop it, and then he spat on the audience, and it's rock stars. Rock stars have spread it. All the rock stars. King says, seeing him in 2007 compared to now is awful. Yeah, I watched that one as well, funny enough, just to remind me. It was like, it's a shame. Grant says, at one time, Phil was bigger than Genesis. Yeah, I know. He was ubiquitous. He was everywhere. Everywhere. He was on the Two Ronnies. He was on the Miami Vice show. He was everywhere. He was in films. He was in adverts. He was everywhere. Sometimes, if you looked in the mirror, Phil Collins would be staring back at you. Everywhere. And, I think that was the problem. Russell says, it's a shame that Phil used to have a quirky sense of humour, and he does seem to be a shadow of his former self. Well, that's what happens with the marriages. It's all those marriages. Too many marriages. Have you noticed only Banks and Rutherford have only been married the once? Whereas isn't Phil Collins and Hackett, they're tying on the marriage stakes? Gable did twice. Where am I? Shane Dalton says, do you think there'll be any chance Jonathan Anderson will play with Yes? I don't know. It's like you have to ask Steve Howe, wouldn't you? If Steve Howe thinks he can squeeze some more money out of the thing, then yeah. Roger says, today I was looking for your 4-track remaster video where you talked about the mono stereo plugin, but I haven't found it. Have you removed it? Probably, because no one was watching it. I think I only had about 80 views, so I thought, nobody cares. So it probably went down. I'll have a look. I don't know. Maybe I took it down. I delete videos, things that I think are not working. I do delete. I do. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. I'm having a look. Content. No, it's still here. You just can't find it. You're looking on the wrong. Here you go. I've deleted other things. Here you go. Here it is. That's on the other channel, just in case you couldn't find it. Tom says, yes, too many women will kill a man. Yeah. Too many ex-wives. That's the problem, isn't it? All these tours are because of divorces. And that's the reason I'll never tour. Because I'm never getting divorced. There you go. Can't afford it. Can't afford it. I've got nowhere to go. My cardboard box has got soggy because it's been raining today, so I'm stuck here. Oh no, she's behind me again. You could have warned me. She's there. She's always there, listening. Oh, you wrapped all the presents then?
I have, yeah.
That wrapping paper's a bit freaky, isn't it?
It is.
I feel like I'm having some sort of magic eye experience. I think I can see an elephant. Wrapping paper. Not wrapping paper. There is a difference. Because wrapping paper goes, I'm wrapping paper and I'm here to say I'm the wrappiest paper in the paper today. Two kinds of wrapping paper there. Wrapping paper and wrapping paper. That didn't work. Simon's in. He says, good morning, Daryl. Who the fuck is Daryl? Hope you're well. Would you have included paper late on Abacab? Well, I don't know if I should even answer that because you got my name wrong. I mean, it's called the Darren Lock live stream experience on the Darren Lock channel. Do I need to wear a t-shirt with Darren Lock written on it? Obviously, the badge didn't work. Oh shit, it hasn't got Darren on it. Fuck. Would I have included paper late on Abacab? No. I like Abacab as it is. Because it's got ooh darn it. If there was an extended version of ooh darn it, then I'd be happy. 20-minute edition. Tom Pink says, who's Darren? Daryl, exactly. Who is Daryl? Daryl Hall. Yeah, exactly. Grant says, is it Steve Howe's band now? Yeah. Duh. He's got what he always wanted. Steve Howe always wanted to own Yes, and now he owns Yes, or a version of Yes, anyway. Because I think John Anderson can tour as Yes with if he's got like two other members of the band with him. He can't do it on his own. I think there's rules. It's like a timeshare on the name. Grant says, you're so lucky to have someone to bring you coffee. I don't know. Is it luck? 33 years. 33 years. Wouldn't have got that for murder, would I? Wouldn't have got that for murder. I don't know. Am I lucky? I guess so. A typo. Is that the best you've got to do, Simon? Typo, really? Okay. I think someone's been at the source. But for you, it's breakfast sauce, isn't it? Because Simon's from Australia. He's on the amber nectar, the Fosters already. My name's Dave. That's right, Dave. Dave, you want my wife now, Dave? Exactly, Daryl Hall YouTube live stream. I'll see how far I get closed down if I did that. Peter says, Darren, I watched your public service broadcast review. Some disparaging remarks about The Guardian. Please explain to a non-Brit. I think their site is one of the better newspaper sites. It's not, because it's incredibly biased. It's awful. It used to be good, but it's got really bad. It's appalling. Daily Mail. You'll go to Daily Mail. Daily Mail is the best news site. And The Express. But mainly the Daily Mail. But no, the Guardian's it's not what it used to be. Oh no, again, I used to buy it all the time. I actually used to buy it, and I used to buy that and the Observer at the weekend and read it. But I mean, I subscribe to their Facebook and that, and I leave funny comments on their Facebook pages and things. But no, sorry, no, not anymore. But that's because I read the Daily Mail now, you see. I don't. I go to Daily Mail because they have stories about people stuffing things into their penis, and that makes me laugh. And they have lots of cute dog videos on their Facebook channel. I just spend most of my time watching dog videos, that and the dodo. And, look at a little puppy. They rescued a little puppy. And that's how I spend my life now. That's the only good thing about social media. Is the little puppies. No, but I was saying about I'm sure the Guardian did a better review. I wasn't actually slagging the Guardian off. I was slagging myself off. Because I said, I'm sure they know what's going on, and I don't. Because I am an imbecile. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't you realise that? Don't you realise I'm stringing you all along? I didn't even listen to this record. I didn't listen to it. I just pretended. I pretended to listen. I don't listen to any of the records. I don't even like music. I don't even own a record deck. You know, it's all a con. I've been doing this for years. It's all blue screen. No, there's no CDs there at all. Oh, wait a minute, there's my CDs. Oh, I didn't think that joke through. Look, there's mine. There's me there, look. It's me. What an egotist. Look, it's me. It's me. I'm everywhere. Look at me. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. But yeah. No, it was a joke at my expense, not at the Guardian's expense. I have to be careful because otherwise people will come on like that all about the J word. He came on. He ripped me a new arsehole. He did. So I'm not allowed to make disparaging remarks about them anymore. Even though it's true. It's all true. It's all true. It's all true. Everything I say is true. Just don't like it. I just don't like it because I'm like pulling back the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. Look, I'm Toto. I am pulling back the curtain. I'm a little dog. I'm a little mongrel. Look at me. I'm cute, but scrappy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Toto. I might change my name to Toto. Ouch. Where were we? But no, I wasn't. It wasn't about the Guardian. The one where I was Daryl. Absolutely. I think we'll go with that. I only look at the Daily Mail site for the pictures. Liz Hurley. She might be in a new bikini. You know, there might be some Carol Vorderman. I like old ladies now. I like the old ladies. Where are we? The Express. I was joking about the Express. Do I have an opinion about Piers Morgan? Yeah, he's scum. What? He published a load of fake pictures of British soldiers supposedly pissing on Iraqi prisoners of war. He hacked. He was involved in phone hacking. He's a slug. But I like it because he winds everybody up. But he's no bloody good. But there you go. But then none of them are. Do I still have the? Ashbury base? Yes. Simon says, "I'm so sorry. I didn't have my glasses on. Tiny phone. You're not watching this on the phone. This should be on your widescreen telly. This should be on your 60-inch OLED. But that's why I broadcast such high resolution. Not on a little phone. You're not sitting on the crapper, are you? You're not sitting on the crapper watching me squeezing one out. Oh, come on. Is this what we've come to? Oh, need a shit. Watching Darren. That'll help me get one out. How is the neuropathy? Painful. Oh, last few days have been awful. Last night I had trouble getting sleep. I said to the missus, I hate the missus to pieces. Here's a reference for you. I said to the missus, oh, my feet are freezing. They're so cold. I might have to put some socks on. They're so cold. And then she felt them and she went, they're boiling hot, Darren. They're boiling hot. I went, but they're so cold. I can't sleep. And like I said, I've been in pain. Last 2 days it's been really painful and I'm just fed up with it. But they're not hurting at the moment, which is weird because usually it's this time of night that they're really... But I think it's the toothache because the tooth started to hurt. Yay, 2 hours in the dentist chair tomorrow. And then this tooth decides to disintegrate. So I'm just falling to pieces. I'm just going to be a husk. Just a husk. A husk. Thomas says, oh, you thought his name was Daryl? Yeah, everyone. See, Simon, he's made up for it because he's just given me money. It's Australian dollars, right? It's Australian dollars. But, beggars can't be choosers. So, thank you, Simon. Australian dollars. What's that? Can I even use that over here? Tom says he's trying to buy your forgiveness. Look, you know how shallow I am. You know that money will get you anywhere. I'll do anything for money. Simon says, thank you for your great entertainment. What's my most treasured guitar? It's this one. It's old Blackie. Old Blackie here. This one. Excuse me. And this old girl who's been through the wars. So there's bits knocked out of her, and I've tried to fix her. Perfectly in tune. Had this since 1996. It was built in 95, I believe. Perfectly in tune. Wait a minute. That's better. I've been practicing as well. There you go. Hold it. Thomas King says Piers Morgan is really just I can't say that. He's a winker. I heard he likes a good wink. He has a good wink in the morning. He has a good wink in the afternoon. But he's gone back to Murdoch, isn't he? He's working for Murdoch again. Because, scumbags got to stick together. Murdoch! Oh. But yeah, I don't really care much for Piers Morgan. Thomas says, every guitar there is better than mine. Not every guitar. Grant says, watching on TV, because use a tablet. He's multimedia in it. He's a multimedia man. Oh, yeah. Again, if you want to watch it on the big screen, it's probably best to have the chat open on your tablet. So yeah, that's it. Tomorrow I watch bald men with synthesizers in the afternoon. So I don't ever contribute though. I just sit there and fall asleep because that's what you do. But I'm gonna have to do an advert, I'm afraid, because the CDs for flags are winging their way to the UK via Italy. Italia. Oh, bueno. Italia. Hey. And oh balls, I've done that wrong. Wait a minute. Let me try that again. For Darren, forgot how to use the internet for a minute there. And if you want to order a CD, not that you want to, but if you are, that feels weird. That whole bit of tooth has just crumbled away. He's going to love seeing that tomorrow. If you do want to get a CD of flags, it's there. You can put your order in. It's going to be great. Peter says, love the old ones as well. Not complaining about Carol Vorderman, but she's 60 years old. What's she at? Serious midlife crisis going on. I don't care anymore. That don't bother me. See, again, if you have daughters, younger women, I just feel creepy just looking at them because they're young. You know, it's like I'm old enough to be their father. You know, so I go old now. I'm old. So young women I just feel weird just even thinking about it. So it's old birds for me. I said to Mrs. Anything happens to you, it's going to go over two ways. I'm either going for an old bird with lots of money, or I'm getting another dog. I think I'm probably going to get another dog though, so that'd be nice. Maybe get another dog. I wouldn't mind another dog. I like dogs. Peter says, sounds like Sonic Youth. Yeah. Tom says, beautiful guitar. Simon says, I'm on my iPhone walking around the studio. Oh, get him. He's in the studio. I'm in my studio. Look at this. Studio. Yeah. It's a corner. It's a corner of a room. Studio. Yeah. With your oi polloi coming here with your studio. And you know I'm in a corner bragging. Don't need it. I don't need to be reminded of my failure. How dare you? It was autocorrect. Autocorrect gets me all the time. Tom says, YouTube algorithm has detected racism and your channel has been suspended. Absolutely. You know. But I am a terrible racist because I do vote for Brexit, so it kind of comes with the territory. You know, me coming over here, driving our HGV even. Mind you, I imagine there are some HMV HGVs off the road. Oh, God, this really feels weird. But I'm a terrible racist. You know, I'm terrible at being a racist because I'm not a racist. So I'm a terrible racist in that I'm not a racist. See, context is key to almost everything. Context. Falsefin says, what would you ask Pink Floyd if they visited your man cave? What is Pink Floyd? Do you mean Roger Waters and David Gilmour? Or do you mean just David Gilmour and Nick Mason? Or do you mean the ghosts of Richard Wright and Syd Barrett? Well, what I'd do, and you know where this is going, I would get Roger Waters and Dave Gilmour to wrestle it out naked with oils in front of a nice toasty open fire. Yeah. Like Bates and Reed did in Women in Love. And then we'll settle this dispute once and for all. Once and for all. I think Waters has got it though. Because he's wiry, isn't he? I imagine him being quite slippery. You would never be able to get a grip on him. He'd be ripped. He'd be ripped like that. He'd be gone. Whereas I reckon Gilmour, I don't think he could. He hasn't got the flexibility of a Roger Waters, is he? You know. So there you go. Simon says the neuropathy is always bad at night. It's weird. I know I've been getting in the morning as well though, and during the daytime and in the afternoons. But it's eased off. I think it's forgotten because I'm on the live stream. My mind's probably going. Peter says, I haven't bought anything from the UK since they changed the VAT rules. You're a third country now. Well, fuck you. Well, fuck you. Tom says, I find younger women creepy. I agree. Well, not creepy. It's just I see it more as a paternal thing. If I see like a young hottie, I think that's how you describe it. She's out. It's a bit cold, and she's wearing a short skirt. I think, oh, her legs are going to get cold. Oh, I wonder if her mum and dad knows that she's dressed like that. That's how I see it now. Because it warps your mind being a father. It warps your mind. Oh dear. Pegasus says, I might get another tarantula. I've got 5 now. He had 6. It's a joke. It's a joke. If one's gone missing, got out. Had babies. Peter says 60 is the new 40. Indeed. I just remember when I was a kid, 60-year-old people wore like overcoats and had grey hair, and then they died. And now everyone's living to 100. Anne says, is your black Stratocaster unfulfilled? No, it's doing really well. King says, I've seen real racists and you're not one. Of course I'm not. I'm not racist. I don't care. Christian says, get yourself an HGV licence. Your country needs you. I would do if I could drive. But I can't. I've never learnt to drive. I've no interest in driving. I'm a walker. If I could do it by walking, I would. And if I was a driver, yeah, I mean, it's something to consider. But this is why I feel so useless as a 50-year-old, because there's not a lot I can do. I can only kind of talk to you lot, and there ain't no money in this, And like I said, I applied for a few. I applied for another school job recently, and I didn't hear it back. Not even getting a rejection from them now. And it's it's like, okay, okay. And it was helping with this, special needs, autistic kids, helping them, with their learning. I thought, well, my experience, they might, want that, but no. So I don't know, and I don't really want to go back to the media. I don't really want to do that again. But I don't know. I don't know what else I'm going to do. And again, the days when my feet are playing up, I have to lay down. It's painful, It's just distractingly bad, And again, it's such a weird thing, because I didn't have this. I had aches and pains before, right? But this neuropathy has only kind of hit me since I've been taking the tablets, since I've been on the metformin. And it's weird, because some days you can be fine, and other days it'd be a little bit niggly, and other days where it's just really, and your mind is constantly focused on it, and it's tiring. And, I can be tired. I get out of bed, take the dog for a walk, and come back and just lay down for an hour. It's not good. It's not. I don't want to be like this, and I'm frightened. Because I know where this is going. I've read what it goes up. It moves up from your feet, up your body until it gets to your hands. And if you're lucky, it might affect your heart and stop your heart. But before that, it will stop your bowels, or it'll make your bowels open, or you'll find yourself becoming incontinent, and you go, I don't really fancy any of that, so I'm hoping it doesn't spread, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm doing the best I can. I can't do any more. Taking the medication, I walk. I'm still walking. Okay, I don't get as much walking done now. Now I don't do the school run, but I'm still getting an hour and 20 walking in a day, which I think is enough. Because I was exhausting myself before, and I'm eating sensibly, no sugar, keep avoiding sugar, and trying to be sensible, and I can't do any more than that. Don't drink, don't smoke. What do? Don't drink, don't smoke. And it's just I'm a bit scared, because I didn't think it would go like this. I had plans. I thought, once Herb was at big school, I'd go and get a job, and and get us out of this debt, and everything would be fine. And it's not gone that way, and very dark thoughts, and it's hard to think about the future. It's hard for me to think about the future. I get very upset about it, because I don't see this getting any better. Not how this has gone so far. But it's the hand you dealt. You've got to carry on. I just wish I'd get a few aces now and again. And I feel that I'm constantly getting, deuces and mixed deuces, nothing to build a hand with. I just want a fucking fighting chance. That's all I've ever wanted. And whenever I've tried to do anything, it's always been smashed and fucked up. But there you go. That's life. What are you going to do? You're a long time dead, so there's no point in moaning about it. But it's hard because I do get down. It's getting me down. And I'm not one to get down. I get down, but get down. You know what I mean. I don't want to dwell on it. But when it's constantly there and it's constantly niggling you, and then, like I said, then your teeth start going rotten, and you've never had any problem with your teeth, and then I'm looking at, I don't know how much money I'm going to spend on this. Could be, I don't know, it's maybe $2,000, maybe just on some teeth. I don't know. But I've got to do it because I've got to have teeth, And I can't get to see an NHS dentist because it's like shitting a gold egg. But there it is. That's life. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's it. I went there. Sorry. I'll edit this bit out. No, the HG thief. I'll get to that in a minute. I've just it. King says Waters and Gilmore wrestling. I'm disturbed now. That's the whole point. I'm here to disturb you. Christian says Waters has aged well. He's well hydrated. It's all that money as well. It's that sleeping on a big bed of money. It really helps. Try a scooter. I don't know about that. Simon says Dude and Right was a track from Invisible Touch recordings. Love the drumming on it, but obviously they went with the Brazilian. I don't really care that much for Dude and Erotic. Hussey says neuropathy is cruel. An occupation of the mind is key for the anxiety of it. Obviously, so you're going through it. Hang in there. I do, but it's just, it's because it is such a weird thing. When I have a toothache, I can understand it because the tooth's gone rotten. But when you get pains and there are no pains, or your feet feel hot and they're cold, or they're cold and they're hot, or like one night I had 1 foot hot and 1 foot cold, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and it woke me up in the night, and you think, why is my body doing this? And it's just, and then you read about it, and you go, oh my goodness. And the funny thing is I've been having this for years because my feet were always very sensitive. If the missus even brushed them, I'd go, oh, and she goes, God, you're sensitive. And that, reading up on neuropathy, is an early precursor to it because the nerve endings are really sensitive because of all the bloody sugar. So I'm thinking, oh man, I've been a diabetic for fucking God knows how many years. And that's what rots them away because, you have this period of hypersensitivity and then the nerve endings are rotted and then they don't know what they're doing. And you go, great. Great. But, like I said, I had a blood test today, so we'll see what the results of that. The doctor will phone me. We'll see how that goes. Christian says, sorry, Darren, I'm joking about the HGV. So am I. It's not a big deal. I don't care. King says, I feel better with neuropathy. It won't get better. That's the thing. So don't worry about it. This is the thing. Some days are good. Some days are bad. And it's a really weird thing because you can't explain it to people. I can bang my toe and not feel it. It's odd. I feel things, but I feel like I'm not feeling things, I do wonder that, perhaps I've been, this has desensitized me. Am I really, you start going a little bit woo-woo. You start wondering, what am I feeling, I've cut myself with a knife and not felt it like I should have done, but I've not really made the connection. I sliced into my thumb by it, which was ages ago. And yeah, it bled and I plastered it up, but it wasn't stinging. It didn't feel sore. Yeah. It's only when you have these things, because if you describe it to people think you're crazy. I think I'm crazy because it doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense because in my mind there's pain. Pain is a real thing. But now I realise that pain isn't a real thing at all. It's artificial. It's not real. Pain isn't real. And once I've conquered it, I've learned to ignore it, I'll be free, you know. And I can do it. There is a way. Purely by the mind, I can do it. I will do it because it's not real. Because if you can hit your thumb and not feel it, or you, like I say, cut your thumb and not feel it, then what is pain? But that makes it dangerous, because what if I am ill? Maybe I won't feel the pains anymore, you know? Oh, you start wondering, you know? It's like I've got a toothache, but how severe is the toothache? It feels minor, but it could be really painful. But I'm only feeling a little bit of it. It's driving me gaga, you know? It's driving me woo-woo. Silver says, great reference to women in love. There should be much more appreciation of the eccentric sherry drinking film director. Oh, Ken Russell. Oh, I love Ken Russell. I miss him so much. Him, Nick Rogue, all those guys were just favourite one. Look, that's tough, you know, because I like God. I like Women in Love. You know, we've got The Devils, which is an amazing piece of filmmaking, which has never been released uncut. And with Mark Kermode getting the full version out. Tommy, The Who, you know, all those ones that he did. Oh, crikey, I've forgotten the title of it. Bear with me, I'm old and stupid, but it's the one with thingy in it. The one with thing in it. You know, the one with whatchamacallit in. That fella. Wait a minute, I'm getting distracted because I've got pop-ups. Do you want to have pop-ups? Here we go. Right. I'm just looking at his work. You got Billion Dollar Brain again. That's one of the Icarus File movies, isn't it? With Michael Caine. The Devils, The Music Lovers is another good one. Savage Messiah. Some nice Helen Mirren action in that, if you know what I mean. Tommy. Altered States, that was the one I was trying to, with William Hurt, I was trying to think of that. That is where he does sci-fi. And it's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Lair of the White Worm, I've got a lot of time for, because it's bonkers as well. Because you've got Capaldi in that, and Hugh Grant, and of course Amanda Donohoe. There you go. Falsman says, I feel you, man. Steady on. I'm diabetic, so it's hard, but cheer up. You know. Tom says, life can be cruel. It is what it is. But, you know, I remind myself that there are little children in hospital dying of brain cancer and shit like that. So I've got it lucky. You know, there are people out there who've got a lot worse than me, and it's just a little bit of pain. And if I can just learn to ignore it and not worry about the debt of my teeth, then everything will be fine. You know, sell the guitars. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen, I'm afraid. But there you go. But at least I'll have lovely, expensive teeth. The money goes in my mouth. Eglin says, we're taking back control. Damn straight. Don't want to be part of that Euro nonsense. The EU. Don't want to be part of those. It's just a mafia. It's mafiosa. But that's not the reason we have the HGV crisis. As I explained earlier, we can trace it right back to Tony Blair insisting that all the kids go to university. And this is why we have labour shortage. This is why we don't have enough doctors, enough dentists, enough labourers, enough electricians, enough plumbers, because we insisted that non-academic kids go into academia. They go on and they get put into debt. When really, whole Generations of kids were lied to by Tony Blair. I went to university because there was nothing else I could do, because I was a little bit smart and I found a university was stupid enough to take me on. And that's why I went to university. Would I do it again? Hell no. Akka says, when they said we were getting back our country, nobody told me it would be the 12th century. What? How is it the 12th century? I get my shopping delivered using the internet. What? Are you crazy? How has Brexit affected your life? Oh, what? You can't get any petrol? That was manufactured by the media because there was enough petrol. Again, one of the guy from the association of the petrol, he said that the shortage they were talking about was 1% of the whole country, 1% of pumps being out of petrol. 1% in the entire country. And the guy that leaked that was an ex-BBC man, right, who's pro-Remain. Manufactured. A lot of the media are pro-Remain. They want us back in Europe because it doesn't affect them, because you don't have any cheap labour coming in from Europe, getting a job on the BBC reading the news or on the radio or in the newsprint. It doesn't happen to them. It doesn't affect them. But people who work, in the shops, or on the farms, picking fruit, in Cambridgeshire, in the old days, it was mainly students that used to do that work. But they got priced out because the EU lot came over and they had their prices cut. There'll be people that argue, but that's how it was. But 12th century, I think you've gone a bit crazy. Are you a serf? Are you working for the landowner? Really? Don't think you are. King says, suffering from issues that I won't mention here. I would never think anyone crazy regarding medical problems. Well, wherever it is, Tom, hope you're feeling better. Silver says, not all states, with William Hurts. That's the one. I got there in the end. Peter says, and Force Fin dropped $20. We're getting better. Getting better. Can we make it in pounds? Pounds sterling, please. None of that euro rubbish. Boo. I like Force Fin. He gives me money. Almost as much as I like Simon. They both give me money. Maybe, again, I don't know what the exchange rate is. It might be the same amount of money. Am I being petty? Am I being shallow? I bet the thumbs down tonight, thick and fast, because they hate it when you guys give me money. Peter says, I listened to my Let's Dance LP today for the first time in years. Mostly filler. I'm going to sell it, but it's got Let's Dance in it and China Girl, Iggy Pop song. My little China girl, shut your mouth. I love that song. Cushion says Ken Russell was a character. Yeah. Silver says Larry the White Worm is totally bonkers. Ain't it just? Silver says Gothic is another great one. Yeah. The Daughter's in Listomania. Exactly. He did a lot of those. He did a couple of those classical composer things, didn't he? Silver says totally agree with you with The Devils. Needs to be uncensored cut released. And a top shout for the Nick Rogue, another great Maverick director. Yeah. Look out for Nick Rogue's Full Body Massage with Brian Brown and Mimi Rogers. Honest Gov, I only watched it because it had Nick Rogue's name as a director. And I thought, I don't know this. Is it a thriller? I was completely unaware. And then, blimey. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Wow, Mimi Rogers. She was married to Tom Cruise. She was the one that got me to Scientology. Blimey. Brian, where are you putting your hands? All that baby oil. It wasn't the film I expected it to be. Honest, Gov. I didn't know. I just thought it was a Nick Rogue film I hadn't seen. Peter says, I like Mike Commode, despite the fact he's a greaser. Well, Commode, he's not always right. But, he is a reviewer. He's like me, Not that I'm as good as him, but I see myself in Commode. That sounds even worse. I see Commode in me. No, that's even worse too. But no, he's old school, and because he came from writing and writing reviews and whatnot, and so did I. I started off writing video reviews and whatnot for various magazines back in the day, film reviews. I was kind of and I used to really hate him because he was everywhere. Oh, I fucking hate that. Come on. Mainly because I used to disagree with him a lot. But that's fine. And then I learned that you can disagree with people, because I was like in my 20s, probably early 20s. I guess would I have been early 20s? I don't know. And then you go, wait a minute. Even though I disagree with him, he's making a lot of sense. So there you go, and you grow up. So that's that. And I like what he does. He knows what he's talking about. And says, interesting about the diabetes stuff. You look a million times better compared to your early vids. Well, the early vids, I was looking after 2 kids at home, right? And Herb was, like I said, in shouty mode where he was screaming a lot, and and I wasn't sleeping very well, and I was stressing out of everything, and I put on a load of weight, and I don't know why, because again I wasn't eating a lot, but I think it's because of the not walking and looking after the kids, and yeah, I was ill. You could tell I was very, very ill and not very well at all. And now I'm really ill. I look wonderful. I've just gone through various stages of illness. Yeah. There you go. Maybe I was diabetic back then, but I went to the doctors back then because I was going to the toilet a lot and waking in the night and getting up and going to the toilet. So I went to the doctors and he tested. Didn't do a blood test, but did a urine test. Said, "No, your blood sugar's all right. You're not pissing any sugar." I wasn't pissing candy floss. But he said you had a urinary tract infection. He gave me some tablets, and that was it. And then, yeah, it went away. Mind you, when I started losing weight, it stopped happening. So, I don't know. Who knows? We'll never know. But we're at where we are. This is where we are. I blame the insomnia, a lot of it. I think, again, not being able to sleep. I used to get by with like 3.5, 4 hours sleep. And I think that probably does a lot of damage to the body. Probably damages the liver and the other organs and messes with your metabolism. And now I get a lot more sleep. Shit, he says, looking at the time. I think I might have to round it up in a minute because it's getting late. That's good. Simon says, never shallow. I do my best. Hegelian says, people not feeling things means you're a narcissistic psychopath who thinks they're always right, but that's not you. But I'm always right. You really do know everything. That's why I love listening to your inane ramblings. Look, I like being proved wrong. This is the thing. I like being proved wrong. It's an interesting world, but life is predictable. And things are predictable, and experience tells you that things are going to go a certain way, and so you get to a point where you do become a bit cynical and jaded with the world because you realise you haven't got a lot of time, and time is the only thing we've got. And if you're wasting your time on a record that you're not going to like because you just I want the next Yes album to be the next Real and it's the same with all these bands. I want them to do an album that's going to knock my socks off. Do you think I sit here waiting for another shit album? No. I want to feel like I'm 17 again, and I want something to come along that's going to make me go, wow, that was a surprise. But, it doesn't happen. Instead, we have Genesis doing their shows and a succession of really kind of mediocre records that come out, and it saddens me. It makes me sad to the point where I don't want to review them and I don't want to talk about them. I was going to do the Tony Kaye thing because it was his first album ever, but it was an album about 9/11. And I'm sitting there thinking, how the holy fuck did I talk about that without pissing everyone off? So I didn't do it. I didn't talk about it. Because I can't say how I really feel, because I'm going to upset people, and I don't want to upset people with something sensitive like that. So there you go. The world's a funny place. How's the next album coming along? I've not been doing much. Not been doing much. Collode's full of it. Oh, that's not nice. Silver says, Yaha, Mimi Rogers and Rogue. One of my favourite Rogue films is Eureka. Yeah, that's a good one. Hussey says, sleep is everything. Absolutely. Forcefin says, I'm a big fan of you. Thank you. And this your ramblings. Well, I'm glad somebody gets some use for them. Christian says, I thought I said anal. Well, I thought it was inane. But inane, anal, sounds the same. It all comes from the same place. King says, I only got 4 hours sleep myself last night. Insomnia is awful. Yeah. It's not good. Again, this is something Verity suffers with. Silverado says, sucks getting old. Yeah, it does. Rag says, I just get the wow feeling with old albums. Can't think of many releases from recent years that blow my mind. Exactly. It's hard. It's hard to find that. Egg says, if we had always been short of HGVs, why did it not affect Europe and just affecting us now? Why? Well, there you go. Simon says, I think the best of, yes, definitely died with Renaya. Peter says, I think they're making a drama about Jimmy Savile. They are, BBC. You've got Jimmy Savile drama with Steve Coogan playing it. Really? That's for the HGV thing. Well, you do know that a number of licences have been delayed because of the COVID. Driving licences themselves have been delayed because of it, because they've been put back by something like 2 years to get your driving licence. So how's that affecting HGV drivers? And if you're talking about fuel driving, you have to have a special licence to drive fuel around. Granted, yeah, there would have been a number of excuse me, EU nationals driving. But that's it. It's cheap foreign labour coming over here, destabilising the labour market. A vote for the EU is a vote for cheap labour to undermine local markets. It's also a vote for criminals having the freedom of movement to move from one country to the next to enable people smuggling, sex trafficking. How many women have been smuggled out of Romania to England, to France, to Germany, and held in brothels against their will? This is a modern problem caused by the EU. And do you know what they're doing to solve it? They're doing that. Jack shit, because it's all part of the economy. It all earns money, son. Even though it's the black economy. Yeah? But you're not going to want to hear that. You're not going to want to hear that. And that's fine. If you're pro-EU, that's fine. I would never criticise you for having that. That's your belief. But I see it for what it really is. It is a force for massive destabilisation. It likes to be able to, they want freedom of movement so they can get poorer countries to give in to them. It's a form of colonialism. I mean, everyone moans about the British Empire, but the EU empire building by stealth, and people don't see it. You know, they're issuing fines to these Eastern European countries now because, they're not as free thinking as the rest of Europe. And so they're fining them. You will behave yourselves. You will. And they say it's about a trading bloc. No, it's not. It's about shaping foreign policy. It's about, like I say, destabilising nations. But you're not going to believe me when I say that. And that's fine. That's fine, because it probably doesn't affect you. But if you were a small businessman and you were, laying paths around here, if you're doing driveways, how are you going to compete when you've got gangs of Eastern Europeans turning up, doing it in a day, when it takes you a week to do it because it's you and your son, and they're charging half the price because these guys are all living in one house. I've seen it with my own eyes. This is it. I've seen the gang masters at work. Thankfully, thanks to voting to leave, a lot of this seems to have gone. A lot of this seems to have gone out the back door, But this is what this was all about. It was about siphoning money out and back to the Eastern European countries. And why wouldn't they? I don't blame them, because if that's where you're from, you're going to look for other opportunities. But it's not a two-way street. They say, oh, but Darren, you can go and work and live and fall in love in Europe. I'm not going to, because I live here and that's where I want to live. This is where my life is. And it's all right for the middle classes, because the middle classes might have their second home in France or in Spain or wherever, and they love that freedom of movement because they could go whenever they want and pitch up and do what they want. Like I say, old Verhofstadt loves driving from the EU HQ all the way to his vineyard in Italy. Driving. That's environmentally friendly. He's got a little sports car. I don't think it's battery powered. And so this is what we're up against. It is a capitalist concern only interested in profit. It's not interested in people. It's not interested in the social betterment of these countries. In fact, it goes in there and it buys up certain industries and closes them down. It is. There's plenty of documentaries you can watch about this sort of thing. The EU is wrong, and there's nothing we can do to fix it. It is wrong, right? But that's just where I'm coming from. That's where I'm coming from. If you love the EU, good for you, but sell it to me. Change my mind. But you can't, because I'm speaking the truth. And that's it. And I think we'll leave it there. Peter says, if they're going to pay HG drivers and other workers more, why don't resign at higher prices for general public? Yes. Or, unless it's absorbed by the companies, because they're making massive profits. They made massive profits for years out of all that cheap labour. Because that's what the EU's about. That's what freedom of movement is always about, is getting one cheap workforce into other areas. Oh, but it's about trade. It's about trade. What? Makes no sense. There you go. But yeah, so be it. Prices need to go up. The reason the gas prices are the way they are is because we sold off our utilities to foreign investment when we should renationalise them. Labour Party announced that's not something they're going to do. Keir Starmer done a 180 on that. Whereas you see the Tories slowly renationalising the railways. That's interesting, isn't it? And I guarantee that when all those contracts run out, you're going to see those railway networks completely renationalised again and run by the government, because it didn't work. And next will be the utilities, but that's a bit harder. Well, I don't know, is it? They could just say set up I don't know, British Gas, or no, British Gas already exists, but British Electric, and take it back, and give the utilities back subsidised by profits. That's what it should be. Same with all these companies, no foreign investment, because they end up pushing up prices. We ended up, EDF got into all of our electrical networks, and we ended up subsidising French power. They get cheap power because we pay top dollar. Duh. But no one's talking about that. That is all thanks to the EU. Another great thing the EU's given us. All right. And that's why I have this position. And I'm proud of this country. I'm proud that people want to risk their lives to live here, because guess what? This is the best country you're going to find. Most tolerant country. It's a country where you can live your life. We can send our kids to school without fear of them being shot dead. You can walk the streets relatively safely. We do welcome foreigners despite what the media and have you believe. That's all a load of bullshit as well. Least racist country in Europe. Thank you. But the media love their little narrative. The media have got you all, sucking that lemon. They're playing you like fools, and you don't get it. You don't get it. You never will. because, oh, I hate the Tories. I hate the Tories. It's not the Tories you should hate. The Tories don't know what they're doing, and neither do the Labour Party. You see, we need to get rid of all of them. We need a People's Parliament, because then maybe we can make people's lives better. We can actually fix this mess that they've gotten into, chasing profit. Both sides, left and right, they serve themselves. Don't you see it? But you won't. Because I hate the Tories, I hate Boris Johnson. Oh, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. Oh, you're not 17 anymore. Think about it. Why do people vote for them? They vote for them because they know they can't give the country to the Labour Party because it can't be trusted. Who do you trust, the idiot or the fool? That's the choice we've got at the moment, the idiot or the fool. Starmer's the fool because all he wants to do is please everyone. And when you try to please everyone, you please no one. Corbyn was the same. Sat on the fence over Europe when we knew he didn't like Europe, but he couldn't say it. He could never utter those words that you voted to leave because, oh my God, There was a point when the Labour Party were Eurosceptics, and then Kinnock got into his head that the EU was great, And then Thatcher woke up. Thatcher was a great Europhile, and then she dealt with them and realised what the plan was and said, I can't deal with these people anymore. We've got to get out. After dealing with them for, like 10 years. Meanwhile, the Labour Party, the unions used to say, up until, God, about maybe 15 years ago, unions were, they're going to undermine the labour market. Cheap labour is going to flood into the UK. And so it came to pass. And then they changed their tune because they would be seen as racist. Jesus, it's basic economics, and it's basic economics, and this is what happens when you subsidise poorer economies. The EU was great if every economy was equal, but then we let in other economies that were less equal. We allowed Greece in, who fiddled the books, and look what happened to them. A lot of the Mediterranean countries shouldn't have been a part of the EU because they weren't big enough, and so you end up subsidising them. Then when the EU casts its gaze eastward to Eastern Europe, and those countries certainly shouldn't, economically speaking. They're not on the same equal footing. And so you end up subsidising them. And then people who live there go, well, I don't want to live here because I'm living in a shack. I can get on the Greyhound and be in London in 24 hours because of free movement. And that's where we're at. And who can blame them? I don't blame them. I don't blame anyone who wants to come and live here. And yeah, great. If we've got the infrastructure, bring them all in. Because we are the mongrel nation. That's what makes this country brilliant. And that's what makes us all fight together when there's a world war. We're all together, shoulder to shoulder. Because we are the bulldog breed. Yeah? And that's what we do. We are the underdog. And everyone hates us for it. Because we are brilliant and we are exceptional and everyone wants to be like us. Look, we gave Australia to the world, gave New Zealand to the world, gave Canada to the world, gave America to the world. Look what we did for India, created Pakistan inadvertently. That was all down to us. Africa, down to us, the great empire. Without us, Australia would wouldn't even exist. The locals would be still in control. There wouldn't be an Australia, there wouldn't be a New Zealand, there wouldn't be an America. And all those people would be living in peace. Wow. There wouldn't have been the global expansion there was if it wasn't down to us and our terrible British Empire. God, it's terrible, isn't it? Well, the things we've done, all those people that have come here, they came here because of the empire. Wow. And if we didn't have the empire, those people wouldn't be here. And they wouldn't want to be here. Wow, we'll be a lot smaller and a lot more insignificant. And the world would be smaller and more insignificant. Wow. And that's why everybody hates us. And on that, I think we'll quit. Shall we end with Rule Britannia? Britannia, all together. Or should we do with God Save? God save our gracious Queen. God save the Queen. Thank you for watching. This has been a Partly Satirical broadcast on behalf of the Darren Party. You can't vote for me. You shouldn't vote for me, for I am nothing more than a benevolent dictator who will rule you all. And on that, so one more thing left saying that is, remember, if you can't be good, be safe, but more importantly, don't tell your mother.